Fingerprints. Remember the wise old saying, truth is stranger than fiction. From the great and spacious building, we are literally screamed at that it's all fiction. Joseph just made up the story about an angel and a set of plates. But our historical records declare there was not only an angel, but two sets of plates, the small plates of Nephi and the plates of Mormon. So I would like to demonstrate how to recognize whether you're reading from the end of Nephi's plates or the beginning of Mormon's plates when you're studying the Book of Mormon. If you really become familiar with the authors of that book, you come to recognize who is speaking to you, not by the subject matter or the context or the background, but by their speech, the words they use and how they put those words together. You see, the secret is, like us, each person had their own way of speaking. Do me a favor, stay with me for 6 minutes, just 6 minutes. It'll be worth it. In a way, there are just two books in the Book of Mormon. Nephi's small plates, finished by Amaleki, and Mormon's plates, begun by Mormon. Of course, these two men, Amaleki and Mormon, were thinking in the same language and inscribing in the same script, but they were hundreds of years apart. And there are natural differences between the wording of the small plates and the wording of the large plates. Just consider one example. If you watch, it's very obvious that there's a difference at the end of the small plates and the beginning of Mormon's plates. I spent a great deal of time in the early 1970s studying this difference. And you can see on these dried out old charts made before we had personal computers. Now the change in language is found on page 145, not 144 or 46, but exactly 145. The change is at the exact point where Nephi's small plates end and Mormon's plates begin. So what was so noticeable? A word disappeared. One of the most common words. It was lost at the beginning of Mosiah on that page, as if it would never return. It had been on every page, or nearly on every one of the previous 144 pages. In fact, it appeared on average 2 times on every page, or more. That's 305 times in 144 pages. It appeared twice on page 144, then at the top of 145. But at that point, the beginning of Mosiah, it didn't appear one more time. Suddenly it was gone. The word was wherefore. Not therefore, which has a different meaning, but wherefore. It's gone for the next nearly 30 pages. It's used once there, then it's gone again for about 50 pages. In 500 years of history, it only appears 7 times, and those 7 wherefores are quotations from the great A's, Abinadi, Alma, and Amulek, and then from Jesus. None by Mormon, not once in 335 pages. Then, in the last era, that is in the lifetime of Mormon and Moroni, wherefore began again to appear. By the way, began again to is Mormon's unique phrase, and we'll talk about that another time. In the last portion of the book, wherefore was brought back, mainly by Moroni, but also by Mormon, and there are other indicators that there were 2 separate sets of plates in the language. But the use and absence of wherefore in the text helps make the point that Joseph had 2 separate records. Stay with me for one last thought. You can turn the Book of Mormon any way you want, upside down, inside out, to the left, to the right, or whatever, and it will stand any test. It'll wear you out before you can wear it out. And, to be chiastic, it doesn't really matter what the great and spacious building says about it. It'll go on and on and on till it floods the world, because the Spirit of God emanates from every page. Eternal truths shine forth from the words. A humble child can know that, and so can we. And I witness it because I have witnessed it.